Hey guys, this is Matt Johnson with Viral Marketing. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the kind of the latest installment of Real Estate Uncensored. This is a live hangout, and we're joined by Greg McDaniel, which is kind of our host for the day, as always. How you doing, Greg?
Hey Matt, how are you, buddy? I love doing these things with you. You and I have an absolute blast, and we got an awesome guest this week or this
Yes,
month.
we do. Yeah, and guys, if you have any questions, this is interactive and live, and so that's the whole point of these. We want to hear your questions and bring your questions to Greg and our guests. So before we get started, if you have any questions, submit them right on the Google Plus page, or you can use the Google kind of the Q&A app, and we'll be able to answer these questions right on the air. So with that, I will turn it over to Greg so he can introduce kind of what we're talking about and our special guest.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us today. I have Lori Sheeler with us. She is just an amazing woman. She has an incredible story to tell, and you know what? She's been an inspiration to me, watching her grow and become the agent she is today from when she and I first met. And also, you guys will get to know Matt. I work with him extensively on doing videos. If any of you are subjected to getting a lot of my videos, I first off thank you for that. But yet, Matt and his creative team are the masterminds behind that. So. Lori, you and I have known each other for quite a while at this point. And when you and I first met, how did you want to trust me to become your coach when it comes to the real estate industry?
Well, I went to your AIM class, and that's how I got to know you and your knowledge and everything. And so, I mean, initially when you mentioned that you did personal coaching, I thought to myself, this is something I have to do. I need somebody to hold me accountable and direction to keep me on track.
Well, direction is something that I think a lot of the times real estate agents may or may not have a lot of. It started off with me. A lot of you guys don't know my back history, but I had zero direction. I was an absolute disaster, and I had to lose everything and then claw my way back, and then learn, spend time learning and trying to perfect my skills so that I can help people not do what I did. And when Lori came through the AIM class, I think that really helped her quite a bit, got a lot of information going. But Lori, let's talk about the time after the AIM class. You and I sat down. There was some emotion involved. You were going through a rough time in life, and tell them how we started working together, and then then I will kind of walk through what the progression was and what the action steps that we took together, and kind of what the results were.
Okay, sounds good. I walked into Greg's office to talk to him, and I actually had just had a death in the family. I had like 30 days to bring in an income, and I didn't really have a budget or anything, and I just walked in a wreck.
There was emotion. There was emotion. And
Go ahead, please.
no, and continue.
Well, fortunately, Greg believed in me and agreed to work with me, and knew that he could help me, and agreed to do it where I pro bono. So it's been awesome.
It really has been, and the reason why I did pro bono for Lori is the simple fact that when I came back to my team, hat in hand, and begged and asked to be on the team, they didn't have to say yes, and they did say yes to me, and I vowed at that moment that I am going to pay it forward at every point I can for the rest of my life. And I thought, my God, this is my first opportunity. I can do this. But I told Lori something. I said, Lori, I will do this for you, but you have to listen to every single thing I say to do. Do you agree to do that? And she said, yes, Greg, I do. Now, we got going on this. We started doing every week, or actually every day, she had to report back to me. So we sat down, we started breaking down what kind of prospecting methods she was going to be going through, affordability, time-wise, the whole nine, right? And Lori, what were the ones that you chose that you felt would be best for you, the area you're working, and your personality?
Door knocking, open houses, and working with my sphere of influence.
Now, when you started door knocking, what did we did a lot. We did role plays, which you were not happy about, but we were doing role playing, we were doing scripting, we were talking about timing, and we were talking about how to handle objections and everything else. Now, when you
Mhm.
were out door knocking, a lot of people on the call probably are sitting there going, door knocking, you've got to be freaking kidding me. So What was your initial response and thoughts about it, and then what are your initial, your final thoughts on today? You know, do you like it? Does it scare you? I mean, do you enjoy it? Just kind of walk them through the progression.
Well, initially getting out there, I was, nervous. I was kind of like robotic whenever I would go to the door. I wasn't really getting to talk to them, getting to know them, out there making friends. So that is something that I've been able to gain, really just talking to people and getting to know them. And it's been really beneficial. I mean, I feel like I'm really making an impact out there now.
Now, you and I went door knocking together, didn't we?
Yes, yes.
So
And that,
let's remember that one lady, that one house you didn't want to go talk to, or that one we had those two houses that we went and talked to. The one with the guy answered, you're like, oh, he's not going to do anything. He's going to get mad. What happened? And what did you learn at that door?
well, his wife answered the door, and she was very nice, and she loved Greg, of course. They talked for quite some time.
Thank you, Lori. And so, no, so what was the technique that we were using? We were using the Ford technique. Is that correct?
Yes.
The family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And she was a sweetheart. And I believe you guys are going to stay in contact. I think she's moving to Colorado. I believe that's where she wanted to head off to. But she need to get a grumpy husband on board. And I know that you've been following up with him. Then you also talked to another gentleman who had a koi pond or something in front of his house. And remember, he was about ready to close the door.
Yes. Yes, and you immediately, I was paying attention when you were out there. That was so beneficial to me. You just automatically said, wait, it's just sales comps, and started telling them a little bit about the market, and then immediately started talking about, oh, did you like restructure the front of your house, and what have you done out here? And you had him walk out the door and talk to you for probably 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was a nice guy. Then there's the other gentleman who, what did he do? He brought us into his house. He showed us his remodel. His wife was talking to us. We actually had to get ourselves out of that house because they were going to keep talking to us to death. But, door knocking is essential, in most areas of real estate. I mean, a lot of people don't like it. I know that I grew up doing it, so I love it. It's therapy for me. People think I'm sick in the head, but I love doing it. But the other critical part that you were talking about, Lori, is open houses, correct?
Yes.
Now, what have you gotten out of your open houses, and today versus before we started working together, and then now?
I generally always come away with at least one lead from open houses. Like if there's, say, 15 sets of people through, I always come out with at least one person that I can keep in touch with, and yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, and that's a scalable way to build your business, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Now,
I'm curious, guys, what was it about those two things that you felt like were maybe the best fit for Lori? And Lori, why was it like, did you push yourself to kind of get out of your comfort zone to try those two things? Or did you feel like it was something that you would be good at and that's why you gravitated to those?
I have done open houses in the past. I do them a lot better now. When the person walks through the door, I find out, welcome them and find out all the information about them up front, and because what I've learned from Greg. But I'm comfortable with open houses and door knocking. I like it. I love being outside. I like, it's like you get to be outside and enjoying the sunshine and meeting people, and I know that this is something that's going to, hopefully make me a household name in several areas that I've chosen.
Yeah, Greg, did you take her through kind of a progression of selecting what areas to go after for her door knocking and where she's doing her open houses?
We did. We looked at turnover rates. We looked at all the essential information. So turnover, in the marketplaces, what the prices are doing, and if there are any dominant agents in the area. You asked a second question of why we selected those types of prospecting for her. Like we said earlier in the broadcast, the fact that when she initially came to me, there was no budget. So it is the most effective, most affordable a way to get out, meet people, go belly to belly, face to face, get out on the farm and start understanding the area. Because if you're breaking into a different marketplace, the best way to get to know it is walk it. It truly is, because you get to know the different neighbors, you get to know the different homes, you get to see the areas, you can remember, oh yeah, that's the house that has the boat in front of it. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Well, that's the guy who smelled like cigarettes, from 10 feet from the door. It's just a better way of knowing where you're going to be working, because ultimately what your goal is if I'm not incorrect here, is that you want to be the expert in the area. How can you be the expert in the area if you're watching Zillow or watching YouTube videos all the time? You have to get boots on the ground, and Lori needed the combination because she has a family and everything else as well. We needed to get her out in the public, but also working traditionally so that people will see her at the open houses where a real product is, where she can then they can talk real estate.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the component of that is the open houses is kind of the now business, and then the door knocking is more of the long term.
Yeah, long term and brand building.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, the greatest thing about when folks have the opportunity, when I have the opportunity to work with folks, I might say, is the fact that I don't just do hey, this is real estate, this is how you do it. We build it. There's different personalities, there's different time commitments, there's different strengths and weaknesses. As Matt and we were all joking around before we went on the air, I'm not the best at writing. I got a little case of dyslexia, and I was like, you guys check this, make sure I don't look silly. But writing for me isn't a strong suit. So me writing a blog, if I was being coached, would not be a strong suit. Me doing a video would. So that's what we do when we work together. And Lori, now that we've had an opportunity to work together, for quite a while, you and I are going to get together after this call. And we're going to start building in some additional ideas on how to build branding and marketing into your budget, because I have some really, really cool ideas I just was introduced to.
Awesome.
If you were to take a couple of things that were the most valuable and beneficial things from just the prospecting side, and then we're going to move into the accountability conversation that we're going to have, what have you learned the most that you put into your business that has been repeatedly bringing value and clientele to your career?
As far as door knocking?
Anything really. I mean, what's been some of the most valuable stuff that you've learned that you've been able to get clients from? Like styles or techniques on the doors, or different ways to speak to people at open houses. Give someone maybe a script, if you have it on the tip of your tongue, that you use that's been really beneficial. I'd say Ford. You know what? You and I worked on Ford quite a bit together, right?
Yes.
Now, the thing that Ford really does is the fact that it does it's a backbone of a conversation, and everyone that works with me will be taught this, because it is the one thing that for me has been the most beneficial. It's a way of having a conversation with someone. It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And all you do is you sit there and you chat with someone and you ask them about their family. You ask them what they do for a living. You ask them you work a lot. What do you guys do for recreation? You got that boat in the driveway. Where do you guys take it? And ultimately, what are your dreams? Do you guys want to be here? Do you guys want to move to Idaho? Do you guys want to move to the city? Where do you want to go? With that technique, I've watched Lori out on the doors go and carry on conversations with people that were unbelievable. The way she started in the beginning part of the day, when we went out to the end, at the end she was having people, like, she had to step away from them because she'd get going on them, and then they would keep going, and then I'm like, well, I was sitting there going, okay, Lori, hey, we got to go now. Okay, we're gonna be here all day with this nice lady.
And how long were you guys spending prospecting, doing door-to-door knocking? Like, how many hours at a time?
Lori, how long do you do it on a daily basis?
I do it definitely for an hour. I try to do it 2 hours when I can.
What time frame of the day?
I generally find it's better in the afternoon, as long as I'm out there before 5 o'clock. After 5, people have started in their family time and don't really want to talk to you so much.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Some of the best times to go out there, like we've talked about, is 11 to 1 and 3 to 5. Those are your two primary times you go hit the doors, because people are coming home for lunch, and then they're getting home from school and from work on the 3 to 5. So very powerful stuff. Now let's move over to the accountability side. What do you think, Lori?
Accountability is very cool for me, because I obviously, it's like there's so many things that can get in the way of your day and get you off track. And knowing that I have to be accountable and check in with the coach and make sure that I hit my numbers, it keeps me on track totally.
Now, what do now I made you email me every single day. What did I make you email me?
Uh, you just wanted to know how many people I talked to, how many people I reached out to. So all my sphere of influence contacts, um, all of my door knocking, how many people were home, how many notes I sent out, because I send out thank you notes to the nice people, um, how many properties that I toured, and then any kind of lead follow-up that I've done.
Right. And then, so we were doing this, and it was working really well. I was watching her progress, and I was very pleased with it. But then we kind of plateaued, and I was, she she kind of getting bummed out a little bit, and I was like, there's something here that I'm not seeing. And it came, I'm like, how many hours are you working? And Lori, what was your response?
6.
I'm like, a day? That's it? She's like, yes. So what was our progression? I think that was like a Wednesday that conversation took place. How did you progress to where you are today? And we'll walk them through that.
We eventually went to, well, first we went to 8 hours and then eventually to 10, and I'm still doing 10 hours a day.
Exactly, because and from there it gives you the ability to have the opportunity to speak to more people, have more opportunities to get in front of someone. Because if you go out there and you only work 4 to 6 hours a day, I can tell you right now, your opportunity, is so small. But you can stretch that out to 8, which is a normal work day, or 10 if you really want to be aggressive and take something off, take something over. I mean, it's going to make a radical difference in your business. And Lori, when we went to 10. What was the difference in your business? Was there a difference that you saw from spending more time working?
Definitely, I feel like I got more leads. I definitely was, made more contacts, and I was able to follow up and plan my next day, and I wasn't, that wasn't cut short for me, and that's real important.
And hey, Laura, can you give us an idea of what your daily schedule is like with that 10-hour day? How are you spending it?
Well, in the morning, I try to do things that are motivational, like motivational stuff, or do all my property searching ahead of time. Like if I need to search properties for people that I'm working for, or search properties for my farm, making flyers that I'm going to hand out when I go out there. I try to get all that done before 10, because after 10, that's when I want to be on the phone, talking with my sphere of influence, following up on any leads, touring properties, being out there on the doors. So I want to make sure that that time from 10 to 5 is, time that I've scheduled to be out there making contact with people.
Okay. And Greg, did you set like specific goals for number of contacts for her, or just were you kind of just tracking to see what she was doing and making sure she was spending the right blocks of time?
The right blocks of time. We needed to get her comfortable. We need to get Lori comfortable with, doing this additional amount of work, right? And she and I discussed, in the way I run my personal real estate business, is the fact that I worked with Lori on, I start prospecting at 10 and I stop at 5. If it's 5:01, I don't make another phone call, because I want to be respectful to folks. I don't want to call during dinner, and that's when they'll be more, amenable to actually listening to what you're saying. So that's where we're started. And now that we've taken another turn with her for the positive, in regards to her business and with her clientele, we're going to be working. We're going to start putting some systems into place that will be working after 5, but won't be, invasive. So that's some of the stuff, Laura, you and I, by the way, we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit more on the accountability piece of it. We started with increasing the hours per day, but focusing really well on what she was spending her blocks of time on, not necessarily what was taking place within the time blocks and how productive the blocks were. Just getting her used to like more of a pace of that 10-hour day.
Exactly.
So is there any next steps? Were you guys doing like regular check-in calls?
Every single day.
Accountability partner every day?
Okay. Every day she needs to email me what she did. And I always tell my clients, look, I'm the first one to hug you, pat you on the back, give you a high five, go get a beer with you when you hit your goals and you do what what we agree as a team that we're going to do. But I'm also the first one to kick you in the rear end, and say, so you agreed to do this, you didn't do it. Explain. You know, because a coach isn't meant to be your best friend and everything else. A coach is meant to, you know, be someone that's going to push you in those times when you don't want to do something because you don't want to have to go back and tell him or her that you didn't follow through on your own word. It's like a workout coach. Workout coaches will beat you to, you know, smithereens, and you pay them very well for that because you want the results. And that's the same style of coaching that I believe in, because if everybody gets a trophy, nobody wins, right? I want the people I work with to be out there, to be number one, to be a growing agent. I want them to have the ability to see their success, and that only takes place when you go through pain, when you go through things that are uncomfortable, and everybody goes through them, no matter if you're the top agent or the beginning agent. But as long as you follow what you say, the plan that we lay out, I will have your back and giving you high fives the entire way. And I think Lori and I had a discussion the other day. She didn't quite follow what she was going to say, so she no longer is she emailing me every day. She is now calling me every day at 6 p.m., giving me a lowdown on what she did that day. Lori, can you attest to this?
Yes, yes. I made the mistake of letting Greg know that I was having trouble getting out of the house in time to go out and make sure I had enough time out there talking to folks, and so now I have to call.
And hey, Laurie, let's talk about in the few minutes that you have left before you have to go show a home, which is fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit about what types of clients that you're working with right now, and maybe a little bit about where they came from, how you met them?
I'm working with buyers right now, one of which was a referral from a lender that I network with, and the other one is one of our personal friends. Looking actively right now, writing offers and showing property with them. Everything else that I'm working on is still pretty much in a lead situation, meaning that these people, they're either not approved yet or they're not ready to make a move. But this is something that they're going to be doing in the near future. So I really, really am trying to really follow up with these guys, because I did have a couple get away from me. So that's a little bit sour.
Yeah, and that's a kind of a good segue. If you want to, Greg, and do you want to talk a little bit about what you worked with Lori on her database and kind of how to keep in touch with her database? We just got about 5 minutes left before we lose Lori, so.
Yeah, you know, what I've encouraged Lori to do is a couple different things. Is, you know, pick up the phone and call your sphere of influence, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. Just do 5 calls a day, do 3 calls a day to get started. You'll start to see that these people actually really do want to talk to you. They do want to interact with you, and then we take the next step when we do pop buys. Now, a pop buy, for those who don't know, is something when you literally just go pop by someone's house and bring them something of value, an article, a candy bar. Who cares? Just something of value to them, and letting them know, hey, Matt, I was in the neighborhood. I want to stop by and see you really quick, see if you're home. And as we started doing this, we were able to reconnect and rekindle relationships and friendships that had gone dormant for a little while. Because you always think, well, you know, I know Bob, and he's been a good friend of mine, and he'll definitely call me. Well, a lot of the times that's not the case, because if you're not talking to your client, someone else is. And you know, we've been able to work with Lori, help her get back, you know, out there again. Again, we're working off of a lower budget in the beginning. So these are the most effective, you know, immediate actions that she could take for the highest possible return. And Lori, what were your thoughts about some of the pop buys? Did you have a good experience when you did some?
I actually had great experiences doing the pop-bys, and there are times that you finally do find out that they'll tell you, you know, hey, you know, I'm actually working with another agent, but at least then you know to move on, you know, and focus your energy going forward on other people. So.
Yeah, but you know what? That's such a valuable lesson that you just learned right there, because you learned that, look, like I said before, if you're not talking to your clients and friends, someone else is, and you never know that until you actually put it out there and you reach out and you have a connection with them. And I'm gonna, you know, quick little segue here is that, you know, doing database marketing. Working your database, working your sphere on a consistent basis is absolutely critical. And Lori, that's part of the stuff we're going to talk about when I get together with you, is the fact that I have a plan for us to work and get your database up and running a little bit more effectively now that you have a little bit more time.
Okay, great.
So other than that, so you got some database things you're going to work with Lori on. What's the next kind of step? Let's say somebody's in her position, they've got some buyer clients. Things are starting to roll. They've got maybe a plan for going out there and meeting people. Greg, what's kind of the next step for an agent in Lori's position?
Next up, we're going to go a little bit more digital, and we're going to go a little more high tech because we've got the high touch down, right? We need to start putting, a hand in the glove. So if we're going out and we're looking for the sellers, we need to start going out and procuring buyers. So I'm going to go over a few of the things that we've launched here on our team. I'm going to go over a few ideas that are very affordable that I think would work very well for her personality in a realm that you and I have spoken about offline that no one has really ventured into. That might be an opportunity to spend a fractional amount of money and get a maximum amount of viewership and branding and hopefully return on it. And because it's so new, there's no real numbers on it, as you and I know. But it is, you have to do both sides, okay? So if you can go out there and we can talk about how to do maybe a Google Hangout, but then you go out and you door knock and you talk to all the people in the area going, hey, my name's Lori Sheeler, I'm with J. Rockcliffe Realtors. I just want to invite you to a Google Hangout right here. Just give me your email address and I'll invite you to it and learn all about the market and what it's doing. You're doing two things right here, okay? What you're doing is you're getting their email address, so now you can put them on a drip campaign and follow up with them and stay in touch. Two, you're actually going to educate and inform them with something, so you're giving something of value to these people while capturing something in return for yourself. Now, next time you go out there, it's not like, hello, hi, nice to meet you, I'm Lori. They're like, slam, I don't know you. It's going to be a lot more of like, hi, hey, it's Lori. Hey, Lori, gosh, that was a great Google Hangout you did the other day. Got a question about blah. You see what I'm saying? How you can marry these two different types together, and the cost on this thing is zero. You're doing the exact same thing you've done in the past, but now you're just adding a tech side to it. But that's just one of them I have going on. But that's the next step for an agent in her position. She has grown so much in such a short amount of time that we are now going to go out and start reaching more folks, as well as we're going to invite her database, and I'm going to give her some tips and tricks on how to get a larger database almost instantaneously without really having to spend a dime to get the people who are going to be viewing this. So yeah, there you go. Long answer to a short question.
And I have one last question for Lori before we let you go. So when you're going to the open houses, how are you positioning yourself, and what types of open houses were you going to, and how are you getting clients off of just showing up at an open house?
Well, before the open house, I generally go and knock at least 50 doors just to invite people to my open house, just everyone in the neighborhood. And then when I'm there and the client walks in, I welcome them when they come in and give them a brochure. And right then I ask them, so what brought you by today? Did you see our signs, or did your agent send you? Kind of tells you whether or not they're working with somebody right off the bat. So, and then I, chat with them a little bit about the property and ask, I ask, questions all the time. So how long have you been looking? What are you looking for? What do you think of this home? And just kind of really get to know them. And then whenever they come back, I make sure that if I think that they will be potentially somebody that I could help out, I make sure that I get some sort of information from them, say their email or phone number, whatever I can get. And it's worked out well for me.
Very cool. And Greg, you've got some really good, I've heard you speak about this before, you've got some good kind of really salesmanship techniques about, kind of where to stand. Yeah. And how to turn certain ways to kind of use body language to turn clients in and build trust. Can you share a little bit of that?
Yeah. So some of the things that before Lori leaves, I'm going to give you guys two scripts that are incredibly easy and simple, and it's just slight changes in verbiage that are incredibly powerful. So let's first talk about the body, kind of posture and everything else. When you're at an open house, are we talking about open houses or are we talking about door knocking?
Yeah, open houses.
Open houses. So what I do is I position myself in a certain way in the house so that I will funnel them. So I'll welcome them. Hi, my name is Greg McDaniel. Here's the house. Here's the flyer. And the script that I gave Lori. How did you find us today? Was it the signs? Was it the internet? Or did your agent send you? Well, as soon as I know what kind of person they are, if they have an agent, they say, well, Matt Johnson sent us over. I'm like, oh, okay, Matt's a great guy. You know what? Let's take a look. Now I know I don't need to spend time with them because I'm not going to poach on another person's client. That's not ethical, and it's a very good way to end your career very quickly and a bad reputation. So now let's say they're not working with Matt. They're just a young couple out looking on. I'll just funnel them a certain direction because I stand in the doorway. Those of you who don't know me, I'm 6'5", 235 pounds. I'm not a small human, so it's easy for me to kind of manipulate their path. But it's in a very easy way of doing it, and it's not malicious. So let's say I want to push them to the right. Now they're going to come, because I know they're going to come around. They're going to come through the dining room into the kitchen. I just happen to mosey on back around through the kitchen very nonchalantly, and then just ask them, so do you folks live in the area? What brought you by? You guys think, what do you guys talk to a lender? I go through very easy questions. Basically, I'm using Ford with them right there. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Gosh, what you guys looking to buy out here? You guys getting relocated for a career or something? Or do you have family in the neighborhood? Just simple things. Then what I do is I ask them, you know what? Gosh, Mary, John, this house is awesome, but you've got to give me your opinion of what you think of that master bedroom. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get up there. Or pick an aspect about the home, the backyard, the living room, the whatever, the bonus room, the media room. Pick something that's really kind of cool, because what you're doing is you're getting them involved. You're getting them to be a part of this whole process. As soon as they feel they're a part of something, they're going to want to contribute back to it. And if they don't, then the jerks and just let them go. Who cares? But those are the easy techniques and tricks that you do when you're doing an open house. Also, we talk about safety for the women in the group. 2 exits. Make sure they're always safe. But at the end of it, if they're not working with an agent, I just get my yellow pad here, and I just say, and I give them my pen. I just hand it to them. Would you guys just mind, giving me your information? And I just hand it to them. Just smile. Would you mind doing that? And it's you always underestimate the power of a smile. Positivity is more powerful than you can ever imagine. As long as you can resonate that at an open house on a consistent basis and give information and not be pushy and don't have commission breath, you're going to have a very good chance of picking up clients. So there's a quick little open house tutorial.
Yeah, that was perfect. So yeah, Lori, I know you got to go. You got to run and show this house, which is awesome. So we want to let you go. Thank you so much for being here and sharing. I really, really appreciate it. So is there anything else that you want to leave people with? Some encouraging words for somebody that's in your position, where you come from?
I suggest that you definitely get a coach. It's really helped me. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Well, thanks for having me, Matt.
Thank you so much, Lori. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Lori.
All right. Well, cool. Well, let's dive into to some of these concepts a little bit more.
Sure.
We've got 15, 20 minutes maybe we can go and just really get into some cool stuff that we can give to people. So, is there any other? Let's maybe start with scripting, because that's always a really interesting thing to agents that are up and coming. Is what do I say? What are some phrasing that I can use, and then kind of adapt that for their personality. So, is there anything? Do you want to go with maybe door knocking or talk more about open houses? But let's zero in maybe on the scripting part.
Sure. Let's actually, since the easiest thing to do for people who are just starting out is working the people that they know, right? Your sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm.
So number one thing you need to do with your sphere of influence is you need to get a letter of announcement. All right. Now this is your business. This is your brand. You have to get one of these things. If you don't have one, contact me. We'll talk. I have a template that I can hand out to you that's been very effective for other agents. So number one, get that. Customize it for yourself. Get it out on nice paper. Color, if you have a color logo, hand sign this thing, hand address all of the envelopes, get this out to the people, put 2 cards in there, one for them to lose, one for them to hang on to, and then you take that, you digitize it, and then you post it on everything out there. You post it on LinkedIn, Facebook, you link it back to Twitter. You have to make people aware of what you're doing, because if you don't, you're a secret agent, and secret agents, otherwise in James Bond movies, don't do a whole lot of anything, okay? And we want to make sure that when you guys are out there, you know what to say, all right? So we got the letter out under control, right? So we got the letter out. So you're now going to start doing some calls, because you can mail to them, but you need to call them, and maybe you can even email them. Then they know what's going on. And when you first start out, don't do this just once, all right? You do the hard copy out probably once, and then maybe do the digital maybe once a quarter for the first year, manipulating the text in there, saying, hey, the first one's like, hey, this is a great new career I'm getting into, super excited. Can you please help? Next. For start of second quarter, hey, I had the opportunity to work with like 5 clients this last quarter, and then you obviously change it as it goes on. So the letter's out, right? Now we got to talk about, people to people. How are you going to build your business when you actually see someone, right? So I had the opportunity to teach with someone coach with someone a long time ago. His name was Dick Ward. Extremely, I've told the story of people who hear it are probably sick of it, but it's so powerful in how it resonates. Now, he at the top of his career, he was doing 2,500 deals a year. That's 2,500 deals a year, just him and his team. Now, he had a big team, don't get me wrong, but how does someone go from absolutely nothing to doing that type of volume? This is it, guys. This is it. See that? That's my business card. And now that's all he had when he started out. And I said, Dick, how did you start doing this, man? He said, well, Greg, what I did is I went out, I knew nobody, had no family, had no friends in the city I moved to. I just went out and I met every single person I could, and I handed out 25 business cards every single day. And I'm like, wow, man, that's a lot of cards. He's like, yeah, it was. But I'm like, how long did it take for you to get anything? He's like, about 6 months. I'm like, okay, so what happened to 6 months? He said, Greg, I had 14 escrows consistently at all times. I had a pipeline that was coming out of my ears, and I had probably 20 or so listings that I was carrying. And I said, and it was just from handing out 25 business cards. He said, yes. So I tell this to clients, right? And like anything, sometimes you just don't always do what you say. But I said, I got to start doing this. So this is where it comes in for the agents, old, new, whatever. Go out there. I challenge you to start handing out your business card every time you get a chance. And this is what my results have been. So I was over at Trader Joe's right here in our parking lot, where I pretty much live. I'm always in that place. And one of the checkers, as he was, putting the food in the bag, goes, man, what do you do? I mean, like, everybody around here. I'm like, oh, I just grab my card, handed it right to him. And I'm in real estate. You guys thinking about buying or selling? I felt a little cheesy doing it, but I'll tell you one thing. This is his response. No, but my parents are thinking of selling, and they don't have an agent. I'm like, outstanding. This happened just the other day. He's like, I'll have him call you. I'm like, oh my God, it works. So then what? I'm like, I'm on a roll here. So I go to the bank, right? And the bank knows me as well, so it's not like it's super weird, but there's a new manager there. And I walked up, I'm like, hey, Garrett, I'm Greg. Nice to meet you. What's going on? Here's my card. I'm in real estate. If you ever know anyone that needs to buy or sell, let me know. He's like, Greg, my brother's in real estate. I'm like, oh, okay, not a problem. But Greg, he works the peninsula, and he doesn't work this area. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold on to this card, and I'm going to give your information to anyone who comes to this branch that needs real estate. And I'm like, oh my God, it's been this easy for this long, and no one's doing this? So I have a competition going. We're starting it next week. That it's going to be a competition of handing out 15 business cards every day. I mean, just getting them out there. So if you're door knocking, if you're at the store, if you're at coffee, anything you can do to get the cards into people's hands. And this is your script for this. It's not like, hi, I'm the creepy, weird real estate agent guy, and please take my card. No, it's not like that at all. What you're going to do...
Wait a minute, that doesn't work?
It doesn't work all that well. I've tried it myself. I'm like, hi, I'm the creepy guy. But no, what I say is this, is like, hey, Matt, great chatting with you real quickly. Hey, we got a contest going in the office right now of who can hand out 15 cards every day consistently. And, if there's anyone that you might know at all, would you mind just taking, 2 of my cards and handing them out, one for you to keep and one for you to give away? Because I would really love to win this competition. And it's really weird how people will immediately react. And if you have any kind of chemistry built with them at all, they will accept the card, and a high probability that they won't just throw it away, because you're getting them involved in something again. Remember when I talked about the open house? As soon as you get them involved, they're part of the team, they're part of the group, they're part of a cause. Then they want to help that cause. And if you do it consistently, I can absolutely guarantee you that your business will see a dramatic jump, because 2 things: you're not a secret agent, you're meeting new people, and you're bringing value to them, because people want to buy and they want to sell. But most of the people don't know how to do it. That's why they don't do it, or they don't know where to move. They don't have a place to go. What if you have, since you're so proactive, you know about homes that are not on the market, that are willing to sell if you have buyers? I just called my business partner Chris and told him about a property in Walnut Creek that called me back that would sell but's not on the market. So we have a buyer. He's going to take them over tomorrow. That's where the value comes in, guys. You have your time and you have your knowledge. Those are your attributes in this industry, all right? Now, if you're selling sunglasses or everything over there at Trader Joe's, then that would be your product. You are your product. And working with me, I will bring out how you can best display your product out to the buyers and the sellers through low cost to no cost avenues. Of course, we can take you to the avenues that you're going to spend money. You're going to get a large return on that, but I can show you how to build it organically, and that is the most important thing, But you also have to have a passion for this stuff. A passion will come through if you just you're out there kind of lollygagging around, just, well, hi, I'm a real estate agent, and I guess I might help you buy a house. That's not going to work, all right? You need to have passion and drive. There's a young agent here in our office. It was her first year. She is doing a thing on Facebook, which I promised I wouldn't talk about over the live Hangout, but I can do with one-on-one coaching. That is, I never even thought of it, but it blows my mind how powerful this thing. She has referrals coming into her almost every week. She has a new someone that's sending a referral through this technique, and it costs her zero. And she's working her sphere in a unique fashion. Okay, now I'll get off the soapbox there. Let's dive in. Let's dive into scripting really quickly. So
yeah,
we're talking about our sphere of influence, right? Our sphere is our friends, our family, everyone we know. Now, most people, when they say, "Hey, Matt, so great to catch up with you, man. Hey, who do you know that's going to be thinking about buying or selling?" And immediately you're just like, "Nobody. I don't know anybody." It's immediate response.
Yeah.
But if you change your verbiage to this, "Hey, Matt, man, it was awesome hanging out with you, bud. Hey, who do you know that I should know?" So instead of who do you know who's going to be buying or selling, you change it to who do you know that I should know? And Matt might respond back. What would Matt respond back like?
Well, I know somebody I know is a loan officer, and then I know somebody that I don't know. They mentioned something about they're not happy with their apartment and they might be looking for a house at some point soon.
Fantastic. I'd love to get their information. Can you put it write it right down here for me real quick, or I'll just maybe I'll find them on Facebook and send them a message or something like that. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, of course.
You could even ask Matt to even do a personal introduction. "Hey, Matt, could you introduce me to Melissa? I know she's upset with her apartment," you said. "Could you do a quick email invite or introduction?"
Yeah, that's no problem.
So see how easy that transition is, you guys? It's who do you know that I should know? Now, if they come back and be like, "Well, what do you mean?" Be like, "I don't know. Is there anyone that you know that I maybe should know to grow my business?" Allow them to come to you, all right? So that's number one. Number two, the script is, allowing you to know who you know. Shoot, my mind just totally went blank on me. That's no fun whatsoever. But this other one is actually.
Do you ever do you give them suggestions?
No, though.
Based on the conversation that you've had. Is there anybody at church, anybody at school, social organization? Will you throw out a couple of suggestions like memory joggers?
Yeah, I would say anyone in your neighborhood, anyone in your sphere, your social circles, like you said, church or whatnot. But here's your other script. So I know that most people, they change email addresses, they change phone numbers, their contact information changes. So this is your verbiage to get the additional information. So if you're talking to them in person, or if you're talking to them on email or phone, you obviously be going for the opposite one. So let's pretend we're on the phone right now.
Okay.
I would say, "Hey, Matt, good chatting with you, man. I really enjoyed it. Can I get your best email address just in case?"
Yeah, of course.
So what I did, I added the word "just in case." Now, there's no catastrophe that's going to take place, but it's that, oh my God, what if I miss out on something? Just in case what? Maybe go grab beers. What? But add just in case. And people will be like, "Oh yeah, totally, dude. Here it is." I usually give people my Yahoo spam one, but I'll give you my Gmail that actually comes to me. Thank you. That's very nice of you. I know that I'm not going to be wasting your time or my time. But those scripts right there have dramatically affected my ability to, one, get the contact information from everybody that we don't have, and second off, be able to mine people's brains, without people going, immediately shutting off. Because when you ask someone if they know anyone's gonna be buying or selling, it's kind of like that salesperson that walks up to you when you're going to buy a new shirt. Look, well, hello, how can I help you? Your immediate response is, "No, I'm good. I don't need it." But you're in there for a reason. It's the same thing. Your mind shuts off. You don't want to be bothered. So those are two good tips. I hope those are helpful, Matt.
Yeah, and since you had a brain aneurysm or whatever it was on the other one, there was something that I ran across. I was in I went to a real estate event here in February and ran across a kind of a trainer for one of the big real estate companies, and he had just a really great, like, there was a ton of stuff in this class, but he mentioned one specific script that stuck with me, and it was the how can I serve you, or the serve you script.
Yeah.
So if I remember right, the way that it goes was that if you're ever in a situation like when you're interacting with someone in the service industry, customer service, retail, whatever the case is, and they did a good job, or you just go out of your way to speak to them a little bit, at the end of that conversation, you just ask, hey, I'm in real estate. Is there anyone that I can serve, the way you served me? You did such a great job.
That's a fantastic way. I
Yeah.
love that. Because
Yeah.
it's complimenting them, but yet asking for business at the same exact time.
Yeah. So just a little, I thought it was great, just a little throwaway script like that. Obviously, that's got him a lot of business over the years. As someone that's been in the business for 30 plus years.
That actually dovetails into another script here. And it's in regards to when you go door knocking. Most people, when you go door knocking, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to say to these people?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's really simple. There's two scripts I have from Florida that they have professional door knockers. They're out every day using these scripts. They get about a lead a day, but they've been doing it right for a while. But it's so simple. It's mind-melting simple. So it's basically like, hey, Matt, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm a real estate agent here in the area with Rockcliffe Realtors. I'm coming around today really quickly, just going to give you some market information about what the market's doing. And also, I wanted to see if there's anything I could do to help and serve you. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, anything that I can maybe do to help you. Maybe some information, maybe some contacts with some great vendors that we use. Hey, I'll even lift a box for you in the garage if you need me to. Something like that. Because then it's very non-threatening. It's easy to like that person, because the law of when someone offers something and expects nothing in return, that is incredibly powerful, because now they know that you care about them. And so once they know that you care about them, they're going to start caring about you. And then at the end of the conversation, when you're walking away, say, Matt, it's wonderful to talk to you. I'm going to be coming around every single month. So if you have any questions, get them together, and I'll see you in about 30 days. Because you're telling them you're going to be coming back, all right? But you're bringing value every time you come back. And you have a service-minded and a service heart. My father always says, huh?
Yeah, and that's a key. You mentioned something there, just the telling them that they're going to come back. If you're going to pick an area to farm, you really should be doing that every time. Telling them, hey, we'll see you next month. I'll be out here again. You'll see me again. Like, just you're building up that consistency that I'm the neighborhood expert. I'm the one that's going to be around. You're going to see me again. You're going to see my face over and over again. I'm going to be listing the home down the street. I'm going to be bringing buyers past your house. It's building up in their mind and reinforcing that you're the one that's consistently there. You're the expert.
You're the guy or gal that's the go-to person. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. Just make sure you keep coming back to them, and you know what? That will bring confidence to them, or security to them, because now you're no longer just that dude or gal walking down the street. You can also pick on yourself a little bit. Be like, if you ever see the sweaty mess walking down the road in the summertime, that will be me. I appreciate a bottle of water. Just have fun with it. I had a door knock for a year straight when I first got into this business, and it was difficult, but it was fun. And I got to know the neighborhood, and people would bring me in on the hot days. They'd give me water. On the cold days, they'd bring me in and give me hot tea or coffee or something, let me dry out if it was slightly raining. So if you're discouraged to go out door knocking, don't be. Yes, you're going to have some jerks, but you know what? You're going to have some beautiful, amazing people that are going to really resonate with you, and you're going to resonate with them, and they're going to see that you're working hard, because they're like, oh my God, you're out door knocking in 100 degrees? Yeah. Wouldn't you like a real estate agent to work this hard for you? And of course, you get the chuckles and everything, but it's just the really way to go. So, Matt, I know we're getting short on time here. So, what else can I do to bring value to everybody?
Well, I was just going to point out, and you can elaborate on this too. Door knocking is not something that you can. It is a bona fide technique for anyone. It's a specific tactic that will get you really good on the ground knowledge, and you can use that at any time. I ran into a guy here about 2 months ago This guy makes 400 grand a year, but he wanted to expand into a new market. Door knocking has always been a part of his strategy. It's always been a part of his everyday life in his main market. So when he started to expand into like a nearby suburb, he just picked a neighborhood of 5,000 homes or so, and he started door knocking for about an hour and a half in the morning every day. And this is someone that makes, more money than most people will know what to do with, and he's still door knocking. So it's not something that's just for new agents. It's a specific strategy that you can pull out and either make it part of your daily life or pull it out when you need it if you want to get to know a specific neighborhood better.
Yeah, it's so true. But let's say, Matt, we have someone that just says, I am absolutely flat out not doing doors, Greg. And Matt, we're not doing this. Well, guys, I have good news for you. I have one other technique for you I'll leave with you today. And it's so simple. And we do this, all of us do this. Well, most of us do this every single morning. All right? Coffee. Okay, do this. Go get some sort of a sign made, or go get something you can put on the top of your laptop, or maybe something you can put on your phone cover, or something that lets people know that you're a real estate agent. Okay, go sit in a coffee house that you go to that's near where you work or live, and have something to the essence of free real estate advice, or realtor on in the house, or something, okay? So that when you're sitting there drinking your latte that costs you $4.50, you can now write off as a business expense. You can still get your caffeine injection, and you can do some picking up of clients. We have a saying in our team that it works so well that we quit doing it, all right? Now, my father, and he's our senior partner, been doing this for 43 years. Pretty much everyone in Alamo knows him. So, I said, please go down to the Alamo Starbucks. Please sit down and have coffee. Well, he doesn't really need a sign. They know this. And so he went down there for about a week or so. Guess what? Picked up a client. People sat down, reconnected with friends. Well, got a couple of referrals just from being out in the public. Do not hide behind your computer and your phone. That thing is not going to ring magically, okay? That's a fact. Just get out there, be proactive, use the scripts that I can teach you and the different techniques and the different areas of prospecting. I can show you how to use your body language that would be more inviting for someone to pick up to engage with you in a social setting. So, okay, I hope I didn't give people too much information that they, their mind is just like, yeah, that's it, I checked out.
That was a lot, but it was good. I mean, that's probably the most practical, helpful things. I was just talking to a guy that runs a big Facebook group. It exploded on him almost by accident. It was all based on him just putting a Facebook group together on prospecting and scripts and how to use scripts in your lead generation and things like that. And it took off because that's what people want to hear. They want to know the real nuts and bolts stuff. What can I say? I want to get out there and talk to people, but I don't know what to say.
Yeah,
and
you don't want to sound
that's
like
probably
an
the
idiot.
most valuable thing you answered today.
And if you guys could get a sneak peek and look at my home office, I have this big, beautiful wood desk, and it is covered in scripts. I hit the jackpot on this document, and there's so much I'm having a hard time taking it all in, but it's so awesome. I cannot wait to share these with you. They are great. That is great stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll keep doing these Hangouts, obviously. We're actually going to move these to every other, it's kind of the first and third Friday morning of every month is our schedule starting in April, which is going to be awesome. And we're going to have a mixture of special guests and then more of a format like this where we'll be doing kind of one-on-ones with Greg and really digging into a specific topic and going deep on that. So these are going to be really, really cool. So we're excited for that. That starts in April, so details on that to come. Anything you want to leave people with before we sign off?
No, guys, I truly appreciate it that you took your time in this last hour to be with me. I hope that I can bring value to you. Reach out to me. My information is going to be here. Let's talk. If you're thinking about it, let's get you going. Let's get moving. 2015 is exploding on us. I know it can explode on you too when it comes to your business life. So don't be afraid. It doesn't cost anything to have a conversation with me, and I truly look forward to talking with you. And if let's say we decide it's not going to be a fit, I will guarantee I will give you some sort of piece of value that you can walk away right then at that point and put into your business. And if you do decide to work with me on a monthly basis, hang on to your socks, guys. I am going to just give you everything you're going to need and then some to be super successful.
Yeah, agreed. Well, cool, man. Looking forward to the next one. We'll
Yeah,
see
man.
everybody.
See ya.